Good morning, everybody. Today I'm here with journalist Sonia Terzino in Italy, and she made a brief interview about my trip in Far East that I had last month, and I answered a few questions about my experience in Indonesia and Vietnam. So I'm now here give you a briefing about what I said in Italian, and also anticipating that I'm going to have a public speech at the University of Irvine in California on June 6th, where I will speak upon St. Francis Project, my mission abroad as a peace ambassador, and a few other topics that I'm carrying on with the Assisi for Peace TV Association. So briefly, I told Mrs. Terzino about my experience in Indonesia. She asked me what type of approach I conceived in going to Indonesia, which is one of the most important Muslim country in the world, and because I am here bringing the principle of St. Francis in the world. And I said, well, my first approach was actually very humble, trying to understand the mentality and the culture I was in, and then by approaching the people I tried to respect their perception of St. Francis, and I found out that their perception was highly positive about the person, which they consider mystical and absolutely respectful, to the extent of any other peace messengers that the world gave in the past, such as Buddha or Krishna or Muhammad. And I found so much opening towards people when speaking about such principles as universal peace, dialogue, multicultural and multi-religious respect, because these principles are not necessarily religious. In fact, are more light principles than religious, which Assisi for Peace TV is not a religious entity, but it's a light entity which brings about principles that fits perfectly today and the current situation of the world. So my approach was actually easier than I expected. When just one thing that struck me about the Muslim influence in Indonesia is that while I was having interviews with some missionaries there, I could hear very loud and clear the Muslim chants all over the street, because in the mosques there they have the habit to put the chants and loudspeakers and the spanning all over the streets for everybody to do their daily routine, and at the same time listening to the Muslim prayers. And this is something that here in Italy never happened before. You hear the bell ringing, but you don't hear the priest preaching unless you're inside the church, and that was very unusual for me. But on the other side, it was also it was to me a way to understand how it's possible that Indonesia gathers so many religions in a network of balance altogether, and still they remain absolutely stable. Maybe it's because of the reciprocal respect, the mutual respect of people for religions and culture is absolute there. They obviously have other problems in terms of human rights and economy and everything, but on that aspect, I can tell that they're quite evolute, and they're absolutely worthy of any respect. I will go back to California next month, as I said, and I will give my speech to the University of Irvine, where I hope I will find an interested audience, and possibly through my trips between West and the East, I can accomplish the mission I was given by Assisi for Peace TV, which is not only to carry on the principle of St. Francis, but also to make people from the East and the West a little closer together. In this time of globalization, unfortunately, the biggest issue that we have is that we never felt so lonely, never like right now as before. And so by any attempt that we do to unite people together with any little action, it's worthwhile. Thank you.